Hello everybody, Jordan Lorenz back here in Tampa Bay as the Tigers lead the Central Florida Golden Eagles 12-6. A little extended halftime as I've got Jonathan Torres joining me in the booth, and we're looking at a second half where really good game so far. Both teams 1-1, and at this point no one's led by more than 6. It's been a really entertaining first 30 minutes.
Well, we did the first game of the season with the Central Florida Eagles over in Sebring, and that was just a blowout game. And so to see them come back and have a more evenly matched opponent here has been really exciting, as both teams, have had their bursts of just incredible plays. And we've seen, certainly strengths and weaknesses, but so far, very evenly balanced teams.
Absolutely. Turnovers have gone both ways. You have the special teams debacle with the Tigers to start this one. Couple interceptions. All of the two-point conversions have missed. So this one really up in the grabs, but this is a huge first possession for the Tigers. They're up by 6, and Central Florida kicking off. Obviously, Tampa Bay deferred to start this game as we are just about ready here to start in the second half.
Yeah, the key here is going to be for the Central Florida Eagles to, not make any mistakes. They've had a lot of interception issues, although they've been strong on offense. They've got an incredible quarterback.
That'll be stopped at right about the 20-yard line. Long field coming for the Tampa Bay Tigers. Only 6 points to show for it, but Central Florida, they've looked great offensively and defensively.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, 6 of the Tigers' 12 points came from a special teams touchdown. So I would say offensively so far, Central Florida has the edge. Their team has looked a lot better with their offense than Tampa Bay, but now it's put up or shut up time. Tampa Bay up by 6. Their offense has a chance to really go down the field and make an impact to start the second half.
Yeah, the main thing for the Tigers is going to be for them to be consistent and not make any mistakes. When they collapse, that's when the Eagles seem to take advantage.
See if they can get Keon Gray involved. He did drop a pass in the first half that turned into an interception, went the other way for Central Florida. They weren't able to get points off of it, but the big man needs to get more involved offensively for a team that has been very run-heavy, as now they're trying to figure out their 11-man unit as Titan Williamson will come into this game. Let's see if he's the quarterback or Hobley. They've been going back and forth between the two. That, again, is a big key to watch here in this one.
Well, the Tigers, when they stick to their game plan and when they've been able to execute properly, they look fantastic. It's when that plan collapses that it's just a mess out there.
See what they start with here in the shotgun. Obviously, they've been far more successful running the ball than they have throwing. It's about sticking to their game plan, like Jonathan said, as now we have an official stoppage on the far side of the field for some reason. Let's see what we're waiting on. Maybe the second chain? I'm not sure what exactly has now official come to midfield, and we're going to hold up for another minute. So, yeah, it looks like we're just waiting for our second chain man, as someone's got to hold up the markers. And again, it's Tampa Bay ball at about their own 22 or so yard line. 14:49 left to go here in our third quarter. We're going to test out that score bug, see if we can make everything work for a nice, smooth, successful second half.
Well, and that's, the thing. This league was a bit dormant, like everything, affected by COVID, because it did start around 2019. And as this league has begun to get their legs back underneath them, you're going to have these kind of little logistical things that they have to work through. And, hey, kudos to the teams. They also have a lot of great supporters out there that are helping run various elements, be it at the gate, be it, even here in the press box with the scoreboard. That support system is incredibly valuable for a league like this.
Still only week 3. These two teams have only played a pair of games each. Obviously, both are 1-1. So in a 10-week season, you're still getting your feet wet, right? And both teams have week 5 byes. So you'd love to get all the wrinkles and everything sorted out by then, obviously. But here we are now, just kind of making sure that everyone gets all set so we can get second half action going. Had a delayed start in the second half, and then after the kickoff, this is also what we saw in the first half. There was a little delay after the kickoff, but everything will get sorted out and we'll get going soon enough.
Yeah, so the issue seems to be that the home team has to provide, again, the necessary staff to operationally run the game, and the person who was running the chains is currently not available. So, now it looks like we're going to have one of the Tampa Bay Tigers here run across the field to man the chains there until they can get somebody to replace him.
All hands on deck here in Tampa for Week 3 of the United Football League Extreme. This is a Universal Division game. Tampa Bay, back-to-back home games. That'll be the only time this year they get to play 2 consecutive here at home. They're going to look to keep that 6-point lead intact because they want to make the most of their home games. Again, they won 42-0 last week. This is a completely different game compared to what we saw last week against the Venom.
Well, they obviously travel well, too. Again, we saw them in Sebring, also an away game for them. Not an easy drive, and they played phenomenally. I think that was, 52-0, I think was that score?
Here we go, opening play of the second half. Quarterback keeper, and he'll slide down. Stay in bounce there was the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Tigers, and now we will be looking at a second and middle. The second and middle, about 2nd and 5 here after the quarterback keeper slide, stayed in bounce. Clock will be running here in the second half.
Yeah, I was talking a little bit to Mac, the owner of the Universal Football League Extreme, and he was talking about some of these guys. You could tell they've played flag football, because in the way that they run, and a lot of it's more of an aversion to as if they were still wearing their flags rather than running forward. In this case, like we saw with the quarterback there, not really running as much forward as he was laterally.
This is all contact. Helmets on helmets, bodies hitting the floor. As here we go. Screen pass set up to perfection. Makes one man miss. Will stay on his feet, get the first down and more. Finally pushed out of bounds at about the 40-yard line, as that is a big first down conversion for the Tampa Bay Tigers, as Jonathan, their offense looks real good here to start the second half.
Well, that's what's been really impressive about both of these teams is the speed. I mean, they have some incredibly quick guys on both sides of the ball, and certainly both offenses have just got some amazing players who, when they turn on the jets, forget it. And we've seen it with the interceptions. We've seen it with some of the running plays. These guys are fast.
Some of them are deceptively quick as well. Even look at Kevin Hobley, their quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a bigger, taller guy. He's not someone you would expect to be running at the speed and everything as he's doing. So
kind of has a bit of a Mike Allstock kind of build to him,
Yeah.
He's big, but he's also really quick.
100%. Here it is. Handoff up the middle. Nope, quarterback going to keep her. Obley will get taken down for a gain of about 8, as it'll be 2nd down and 2 coming up. And right about midfield here are the Tigers. Clock running here in Tampa. 13:30 left to go at the 49-yard line. Tampa Bay Tigers almost in Golden Eagles territory. 2nd and short, trips right, running back to his left, one receiver left as well. Low snap, there's one of those miscues. Everything was going right on offense, and just like that, it's now stuck for a 3rd and medium.
Well, we seem to have a problem at center on both sides, because just before the half we saw the Eagles also with a lot of really questionable snaps, a lot of them really on the low end, and we see that it's contagious out here.
The field goal as well, that's what cost Central Florida, was a bad snap on the field goal. So it's going around left and right. Here we are, 3rd down and about 3 or 4. As Obley will take it under center. High snap now this time. Got it in his hands. Out route is caught. Completion on the far side right in front of the Golden Eagles bench. That is a 1st down conversion and a huge throw and catch by Obley.
Well, I mean, we've seen some amazing catches today, and that's certainly one of them. I mean, from here, you couldn't really tell, but that ref, certainly, had that play come along right in front of him.
So that catch right in front of the Central Florida bench as their unit was watching. Who knows if he caught it or not? The official knows, who was standing right there and said he was in bounds the entire time. Haven't seen a lot of completions from Hobley so far, so that was a huge, huge third down conversion. Defense got a great jump on this snap. 4 players going as he's going to throw the deep ball wide open. Caught, under, threw it, doesn't matter, touchdown. Hobley to Williamson once again, another 6-point throw. Wow.
I mean, he even had an eagle on there, and you wouldn't have. I mean, you thought he was out there all by himself. That defensive coverage he had on him didn't face him one bit. Give him a little bit of stiff arm just to get enough yardage to get into the end zone.
So all he needed was to stay on his feet and make one man kind of push him into the end zone if he had to, and that's exactly what happened. 18-6 with 12:01 left to go here in the third quarter, and Hobley's only had one notable completion so far. That was the first touchdown, and this the second. Had that one-on-one coverage. There might have been blown coverage on the back end, but here we go. 18-6, chance to make it a 14-point lead. Pitch out to the right, staying on his feet, cutting back inside, and with ease gets it. Our first 2-point conversion of the day. It is 20-6.
Well, and it's one of those things where I think, going into a halftime, you talk about, the mentality, going into a halftime and the difference that makes, whether you're ahead or you're behind. And here, I think we certainly see a Tigers team that is fired up and certainly more focused than they seemingly were in the first half. I mean, they, didn't make a whole lot of mistakes on that drive there. Really took it from end to end, and, the score reflects that, and again, now it's going to be up to the Eagles to decide how are they going to respond. Are they going to, allow them to get motivated and put some points up on the board, or are we going to start to see them kind of fall behind?
20 unanswered from Tampa Bay as they lead this game by 14. We were combined 0 of 3 from three-point conversions between the two teams, but the fourth one here in the second half was good. That is a comfortable 14-point lead because remember, Central Florida hasn't scored since the first 12 minutes of this game. There was 3:06 left to go in the first quarter, and it was a 30-yard quarterback sneak touchdown for Dallas Campbell. You certainly don't want to call it a fluke touchdown, but something like that you sure don't see a lot. So Central Florida really needs a big touchdown, whether it's in the air or just a massive rush, and for their sake, hopefully Javarius Christmas is on the field because they're going to need number 5 to get going on offense.
I mean, we've actually seen more scrambling from the Tigers quarterback, really. I mean, and again, he's got the feet, he's got the moves, he's got the speed, but the Eagles just not able to make anything happen here, as many opportunities as they've had.
Here's another one of those miscues on special teams. Touched the ball and had to go a couple yards into the end zone to get it. But they'll be right about the 20-yard line are these Golden Eagles, putting their 1-0 road record to the test. And now the question is, what are they going to look like on offense with 11:45 left to go here in the third quarter? Trying to see if Christmas, number 5, is out there for Central Florida. If he is, their offense is going to be in a lot better shape. If not, their run game is going to be questionable. So I do see Christmas. That's a great sign. He had plenty of time at halftime to rest up and get prepared, but there's going to be he's actually walking off the field right now. And now he's going to maybe just got a play call or something. As he's kind of just walking around seeing what's up at this point in time. There's a brief timeout on the field, but Christmas did indeed go off the field. So lined up is Dallas Campbell. He's got a running back to his left, 2 receivers on both sides. Once again in shotgun, Campbell has been far more successful under center, but then again, to Jonathan's point, it all depends on these snaps. Jet pass right out in front, able to make a move, and a nice stiff arm in front of the Tigers as he will get close to a first down, might get it, but I think we have a flag.
And again, I mean, right there you see an example of that speed. Great speed there by Howard from the Eagles. Hopefully they, we'll see that they won't penalize the Eagles on this call, but they keep looking over towards the Eagles. So I have a feeling this penalty might be called against them.
Last discussions, and I mean, the Eagles are moving back. I never saw an official call yet, but let's see. Now official going to the other side, and well, looks to not, well, now everyone's confused. So there is never an official call on the field. They're actually talking to the Central Florida Golden Eagles head coach over on the far end, but where they're placing the ball, it looks like, depending on if they still move it back or not, it's going to be a 1st and 5 scenario. That jet touch pass worked to perfection, but something held up that Golden Eagles offense, and now it's in the hands of the black and white stripes to get it all figured out. So we have a face mask against the Eagles, an offensive face mask. Gonna push them very far back, dead ball foul, and that's costly again. You're going to have a 10-yard run and then push that all the way back. So not great offensively for Central Florida. That's the last thing you wanted to start the half.
Well, there seems to also be a little bit of trash talk between one of the Tigers players and the coach of the Eagles, and hopefully that doesn't kind of evolve into anything much, but there's definitely some taunting based on this call here, and they're getting hit pretty hard.
Yeah, not a great 15-yard penalty to have. I think based on where they were, it's more of a half the distance to the goal, but there were 2 Tigers in the face of the Central Florida Golden Eagles head coach during the call. He was kind of trying to shoo him away so he could talk to the officials, and someone needed clarity on what the call was. If it's going to be anyone to get it, it's the head coach. But Tigers up by 14, and look at this offense pushed all the way back for Central Florida. I mean, you can't be pushed much further back than this. They'll get the snap, and watch a bad snap. Could end in a safety. There's a and right through the hands. Actually had his receiver open, but couldn't make the catch. That pass just a little off the money through the hands of Devontae Graves. So 11:05 left to go off the incompletion. A 14-point game here as we're going to look to see what the Golden Eagles can do after that incompletion. So back with our feed here. 2nd down and very, very long. This team's got to get to the 30-yard line to get a first down. I mean, they are nowhere near at this point in time. So let's see where their offense is going to go with a quarterback who has a good arm, but that pass just went right through the hands. Campbell will get it once again, steps up in the pocket and spins, lost his footing, lost the ball on top of it. I think the Tigers say they have it, waiting for the official decision, and they do. The big man, Keon Gray.
Wow. It's I mean that is pretty tragic there. I mean it's the last thing you needed, and honestly I mean it was either a big play or get into a better position to punt the ball. The Eagles get neither, and now we've got the Tigers in scoring position.
They're going to be at the 5-yard line. I mean, Dallas Campbell was in the end zone when he was taking these snaps. He was in no position to be. He's going to scramble and do everything in his power, but if you're going to lose the ball, you better get back on top of it. Tigers did, and this by far the most costly turnover of the game. Up 14, a chance to take this one to the next level.
All right, if the defense doesn't step up here, I mean, this could, seal the deal for the Eagles in the second half.
I think we have a delay of game. Let's see. Clock will stop with 9:50 left to go. And yes, this is going to be an offensive penalty. So, my goodness, Tampa Bay, they are gifting Central Florida a situation where they're turning an easy touchdown into something a lot more difficult.
Well, we've seen this happen a few times. They've cut it either really close or they just haven't been able to communicate properly to get that ball off in time. I mean, it's definitely something they need to work on for the Tigers.
Here's Tampa. Fresh set of downs. 1st and 5, turn it to 1st and 10, and a sack. Just as you said, Jonathan, the Central Florida defense stepping up when they need them the most.
Well, let's be honest. They've had a bit of a rest, so, they got a little bonus halftime rest there. Now it's time to put up, and I mean, they could be the saving grace here for the Eagles to try to make this a ball game.
Approaching 9 minutes left to go, and we know Tampa Bay, they're not going to rely on someone to kick a field goal, so that would make it a 3-score game, but right now it's still 2 scores pending a touchdown. 2nd down and goal. Look at that. The snap. There was a miscommunication with the running back and Obley goes down. Back-to-back sacks. And look at it's Christmas, the star running back, making a huge defensive play for Central Florida. So 3rd down and goal from about the 18 or so yard line. This is a long goal line stand, and back-to-back sacks have put Central Florida in prime position, but can they stop them twice more? Now's the question.
Well, if the Eagles get this turnover, they're going to be in better field position than they were on offense.
That's true. The sacks have set them up nicely, but can you do it twice more? There's some pressure. Obley moving up in the pocket. He's got some space. Stivit and moves out of bounds. It'll be inside the 10 at about the 8. And that was that hesitation move. It benefited him greatly to get back, and now 4th and goal is much more manageable, but still quite a difficult spot to be in from about the 8-yard line.
The only issue I see here for the Tigers is that the quarterback can only run it so much. I mean, is he a great running quarterback? Absolutely. But at some point, you got to mix it up. They're going to, blitz you, or they're going to make sure that they're on top of you. And the last thing the Eagles need right now is to give him enough room, to get a running game going for the quarterback.
Under 8 minutes left to go in this one. 4th and goal. This by far the biggest play of the game. Kevin Obley in shotgun. Running back to his left, 2 receivers on both sides. 4th and goal. Gets the snap. Obley looking to his right. He's hit from behind. The throw is up and caught. Touchdown. 4th and goal, a prayer. Obley got hit from behind and somehow still made the throw. Caught in the end zone. 6 points for the Tigers.
It's kind of what I've found, to be pretty exciting about this league so far, because I've seen it from both teams now. There's a little bit of a backyard ball kind of energy to these teams. We've seen the quarterback scramble and pull off these crazy throws and just make it happen, right? It's something that, we don't really see in professional ball anymore, because it's almost like they're too polished for that. Here it's like they're just all about making it happen, and in that case, that's a perfect example. In mid tackle, he still manages to get the pass off for a touchdown, and that was just a great play.
2-point conversion attempt, up by 20 points now. Tampa with 14 points so far, and now a flag will come in. We're going to have another foul. Dead ball against the Tigers. This will push their 2-point conversion back. That is the second time in the past minute that they have had that penalty occur against them. 7:26 left to go here. Is there, again, up by 20. You want to make it 22. You want a little extra cushion, but moving this ball back to about that 7-yard line now, that's not going to be easy.
I mean, really, at this point, they're just making it harder on themselves because, the Eagles, again, they're trying to put up a fight defensively, but, the Tigers have actually been better at pushing them back than the Eagles have.
Tigers' penalties against them have been a big key, but up by 20 points, obviously not one of the deciding factors in this one. This is going to roll out left. Penalty flag comes in. His throw is up the back of the end zone. Tried to get it to the big man, Gray. But let's see what the penalty is. If that's against the Tigers, obviously there's going to be...
Well, and I mean, that's the tallest guy in your team. I mean, there was no real need to throw it that high. I mean, if you just threw it a little bit higher than the guy covering him, I think he would have been more than capable to catch that. But, opportunity missed there. Hopefully it won't come back to bite them for the Tigers.
Kind of looked at first like he was throwing it away, and then I saw Keon Gray standing there, and I was like, well, if anyone can make the play, it's him, but not even the big man could come up with that catch. 26-6, 7:17 left to go here in the third quarter.
Well, and this is, again, where tensions start running a bit hot. When we see one team kind of struggling to come back, the game's no longer kind of, evenly matched, as the Tigers have begun to pull away in the points column. The Eagles have to keep their composure and keep their focus on making a comeback in this game, or their mental focus is just going to be the end of them.
Was a little confrontation after the conversion. Again, it was another offensive penalty against the Tigers. They wouldn't have converted anyways as it was an incompletion, but certainly after the play, a couple of extra words exchanged between these two teams, and a 20-point game here in Tampa Bay.
And it was tough to see what exactly took place because, it happened on the far end of the field, but we've got a couple of players from the Eagles here really petitioning these referees about whatever it was that happened. And obviously they don't feel like they got a fair call, although this may be it here.
So they pushed the kickback 5 yards, which seemed to be whatever the penalty was on the conversion, and it's going to enforce it now on the kickoff. As let's see, Central Florida Golden Eagles have allowed 2 touchdowns in the span of 5 minutes, and now it's up to their offense because they desperately need something, and it all starts with field position. So if they're able to come out and have a nice little kick return or whatever it may be, as long as they're not back within the 5-yard line, that's a successful start to this drive.
Yeah, number 26 for the Eagles seems to be making quite a fuss about somebody over on the Tigers. I'm not sure exactly what his issue is, but he is worked up. He is fired up about whatever it is that's going on.
The Central Florida coach was also out on the field for a little bit, but Anthony Stewart, the middle linebacker, is the man in question here on the Golden Eagles, who is trying to make sure everything gets sorted out correctly. Squib kick bounces, goes to Christmas. Christmas will be returning. He is spinning around to the 42. Got tripped up, as now all of a sudden Central Florida is getting a lot fired up after that kick return.
Well, I mean, it's great field position. And again, Christmas has obviously been a real standout player in this game. And for the Eagles, he has been pivotal. And now it's, can they capitalize on this field position? Because, they're looking pretty good at about the 40-yard line.
Adam Kane was very fired up after that play. And, hey, Central Florida needs some points. They need to do something. 6.5 left to go in our quarter as that ball is placed at the 41-42 yard line, right around that range. And now let's see. Golden Eagles, you're down by 20. You've given up 26 unanswered. At what point can your offense come back with something? Scoring the first 6 points is something, but hey, to give up 26 in a row is a whole different ball game. Cambo will roll out to his right, and again, how many times can you run the same play before the Tigers are all over it? We do have an injury on the field, so we'll keep an eye on the lineman who is down. Clock will stop with 5:59 remaining here for the injury timeout. Injury all sorted out as there was a gain of 1. We'll call it 2nd down and 9 here by the Central Florida Golden Eagles. Throw on 2nd down is incomplete. We have a late flag, though. That's going to be roughing the passer. So coming in late, and the official was all over it. That's going to one of those calls that's going to go against number 25, John Clay Boyce, the middle linebacker of the Tampa Bay Tigers. He was there late, no question about it.
This is kind of what I was talking about just a little bit ago. The Eagles need to find their composure. Obviously, fuel, use the fact that they are behind, to fuel them and get them fired up, but focus that energy on moving that ball down the field and getting some more points on the board. If they let it eat them up inside, if they let the tensions rise, their focus goes completely away from the game, and they'll continue to make mistakes and allow the Tigers to pull away from them.
Well, the Tigers score 26 unanswered. If you're the Golden Eagles, why can't you? That's kind of the mindset you got to be in at this point in time. That's another big penalty against Tampa Bay. The Tigers have been penalized quite a bit tonight, and let's see if this one costs them. Missed block on the left side, but Campbell's going to roll out, kind of direct traffic. Stops, sets his feet high to Christmas, and then not quite through the hands of his receiver in front. That's number 17 of the Golden Eagles, Deontay Graves. Didn't have a play on the ball, just too far.
Yeah, you couldn't really tell there if he was going for Graves or if he was going for Christmas. Seemed more of a desperate throw than anything.
Tried to make something happen, and down by 20, that's all you can do at this point in time. Christmas was definitely in the area, but it does seem to be a bit high to him. So here we go. Shotgun Christmas to his left, two receivers on both sides. Expect a lot more passing. Here's an offsides, I would assume. Yes, indeed. So Tigers going to jump offsides once again, and they're just gifting the Golden Eagles yards. This is a Golden Eagles team that needs anything to get back in this game, and well, Tigers just gave them 20 yards between the face mask and the offside, so anything to stay alive.
I mean, they couldn't have asked for a better situation, given how the second half of the game started. This is truly, it's gift wrapped at this point.
5:20 left to go. Again, it's 26 Tampa Bay, Central Florida 6. Both teams 1-1 here in the Universal Division. This is week 4. Another bad snap. Somehow Campbell stayed on his feet. He's going to keep it himself, rolling out right. Stays in bounds and will get knocked out. And let's see, where is this going to be? First down is the call, and now we'll just see what yardage exactly he got to.
I'm telling you, those snaps at center, that's a liability. Continues to be a liability. Right there, he was able to, make lemonade, with that terrible snap, But, again, inevitably your luck runs out.
Dallas Campbell has done a great job doing everything in his power to carry this team on his back. He's had some help, obviously, from Christmas and stuff. Once again, rolling around, gets a block from Christmas, stays up. Should be getting another first down here as they're going to be inside the red zone as Campbell keeps it himself with about 4 minutes left to go. He has done another great job on the scramble drill.
Hey, look, they keep this pace up. Again, they could get back into this ball game.
The no-huddle offense has worked for them. It is all Central Florida at this point in time. Yeah, Tampa, you're up 20, but they're going to call timeout. So Central Florida will take a timeout. We'll take one with them. The Golden Eagles down by 20 in the red zone. First down, Golden Eagles in the red zone for the first time this half. 4 minutes left to go, quarter number 3. Campbell gets it. Nice snap this time, but he's got 4 Tigers all over him. Makes the sack, loses the ball. What is the call going to be here? Once again, that backyard style football, as we talked about, just trying to throw it and make a play. They're going to call him down. This is a sack officially, and that'll push him back. Goodness, 7 yards or so. That is a bad sack to take. He tried to get the ball out, just couldn't in time.
I mean, I don't know if they're calling it intentional grounding or not. I mean, we haven't seen it yet this game, but I mean, again, that was incredibly dangerous because had that ball not gone out of bounds, it might have been up for grabs for a fumble.
Actually incredibly confused at what the call is because they put it right back at the line of scrimmage. So I don't know what happened to offset the sack or whatever it was, but it's 2nd down and 10 with 3 minutes left to go in the half. Very odd swing of events.
Yeah,
but
we didn't see a penalty called.
Campbell takes it here, hands it off up the middle. Going to get an extra push on the back, but the Tigers push him right back to enemy territory. 3rd down and medium off the run, and now Central Florida for the first time in a while opted to go with a designed run. You still have time. I mean, you're down 3 scores, but you have time. You have to put faith in your defense, and you have to trust that your offense is going to actually get some points on the board for the first time since there were 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter. If there was ever a drive to do it, it's this one.
Well, like you said, I think they do need to if they can, get back to the no-huddle offense. The Tigers famously have had communication issues both on the field and on the sideline. That's where they can definitely make some headway.
Tigers defense was very confused on this play. Campbell's scrambling backwards, and he'll just throw it to one of his linemen. But incomplete pass. Clock will stop with 1:58 left to go, and we have another flag coming in late. Is this against Tampa Bay again?
Yep.
Wow, another dead ball foul against the Tigers. I mean, credit to the officials. They're calling it consistently. You got to know it's coming if you're Tampa Bay, but what in the world is happening to this Tigers team? Their discipline has gone out the window.
Well, and again, as strong as their defense is, they're quite literally their own worst enemy here, as they've just given these yards away.
So 1st and goal here, think of the yardage. The face mask penalty, the offsides penalty, this penalty, those 3 just at the top of my mind. And, what can you do at this point? If you're Central Florida, you have to convert. It's just a matter of how you're going to do it. Campbell QB sneak, let's see. No, he tried to fake him out, and instead he'll drop back under center, or into shotgun. Gets the snap, fakes the handoff, rolling out to his right. That's the side he's been comfortable with. Can't take a sack here, and he did. Oh my, and another flag has come in. If this is on the hit, that wipes away what seemed to be a picture-perfect sack. Face mask is the call. Tampa Bay penalized again. Wow.
Well, and how many chances are the Eagles going to get here? Really, to put points on the board. Not saying the calls by the referees are absolutely legitimate, but they need to make something out of this. If not, I mean, again, these are the moments they need to capitalize on to at least try to come back in this game.
So the face mask wipes out a sack that would have pushed them to the 20-yard line on a 1st and goal scenario. That's 2 face mask penalties. I mean, it's just roughing the passer, face mask, unsportsmanlike, offsides. Everything is adding up. And now they're obviously not going to gift him a touchdown. They're just going to move this ball a lot closer to where it was originally.
Well, and the Eagles quarterback, I mean, also is now predictably continuing to go to his right. He needs to mix it up. I can't even remember, if he's, ever scrambled, to his left here. It just seems like he's getting overwhelmed. I mean, you're seeing 3-4 Tigers come at him on every possession. They're blitzing, and I'm not sure that the run game is going to get them in the end zone here, but they got to try something else.
Quarterback sneak. Is he in? No. He's not in. I was going to say you should probably mix in that sneak because they had that 30-yard quarterback sneak touchdown. That was their only score. And now we have whistle blowing for substitution or something here, but Central Florida, no one signaled to stop the clock. We're all good. Clock's rolling. Nothing happened. Just a couple substitutions. I think they're going to try and sneak it again. Let's see. Campbell under center gets pushed. He goes nowhere. He is stuck. And he jumped in at the last second. Dallas Campbell touchdown. And with 57 seconds left to go in the third quarter, the Central Florida Golden Eagles have broken their curse of almost 30 minutes without putting points on the board.
Well, and again, it was all about, taking full advantage of all those calls, that went in their favor. Now, again, will they continue to be able to put points on the board maybe without all those penalties? Because at some point, this Tigers defense needs to realize that, they can't give away those yards anymore.
Tigers defense certainly gifted Central Florida 6 on this drive. Will it be 8 is the question. Currently down by 14. This could cut it to 12. I mean, all it takes is a couple scores and 2-point conversions, and just like that, Central Florida could be in the lead.
I mean, what would you estimate they gave away there? Probably about 30 yards at least?
In penalties, at least.
Yeah.
Between the face mask, unsportsmanlike, like everything, the offsides, roughing the passer. You're just gifting them field position. Let's see if they try and sneak it again. It worked on the second time, and now from 2 yards away. Golden Eagles take the snap. They're going to go to the right. I think it was a bad snap that he bobbled. It's on the ground. Yes, Tigers have it. Going the other way. They pitched it back. Making one man miss. Staying on his feet. Going the other way. Can he keep up? Trying at the 30. Losing steam. The 20. The 10. And the conversion. Wow. Tampa Bay just went the distance. But I don't know what that call is. A personal foul against Tampa Bay wipes it out. I don't know what the fist against each other is. Maybe some sort of block or something that happened illegally. But the conversion goes out the window.
Either way, these Tigers have to be gutted. I mean, because, again, that could have pretty much sealed the game for them at this point.
Just a crazy turn of events. We saw the bad snap. The ball came loose at the very last second. Some of the wildest moments in this game have been on the conversions. We had an interception, almost interception, then obviously the field goal miss that happened. That wasn't a conversion attempt, but just some of the crazy plays we've seen in this one. The official's going to sort it out, and I think as it stands, it's going to be 26-12. No one else will be gifted any points. Third quarter seems to have come to an end here in Tampa, as the kickoff will be Central Florida kicking to Tampa Bay at the start of our fourth. So the officials have tacked 40 seconds on after that conversion. Still in the third quarter, 40 seconds left to go. That'll start here at our kickoff, but they've added a little bit extra time, which obviously helps Central Florida. They know that they're going to need it as Justin Lawrence gets ready to kick things off. Down by 14. 26-12 our score here in Tampa. Kickoff by Lawrence. High, boom, and kick. Tigers have had problems on special teams. This one not an issue. Looking to go right up the middle. That burst of speed will take them down to past the 40, and we will stop our clock with 15 seconds left to go, and we have another flag coming in. My goodness, what is this one going to be? Another dead ball foul.
Yeah, I think it's going to be unsportsmanlike on 24 of the Eagles.
Let's see. The flag came in, the two officials discussing things. See if Jonathan's assessment is correct. Yes, indeed, is against the Golden Eagles. So that's the last thing you want if you're Central Florida. You cannot be giving this Tigers a short field because they just gifted you a touchdown. The last thing you want to do is gift them a touchdown. I mean, the penalties certainly have been a big key in this third quarter, but look at how much field they have just given Tampa Bay. They're going to start that drive at about the 43.
Yeah, there was some taunting happening there after that last play, and again, completely unnecessary, and you have zero room for error when you're, behind by 14.
26-12, 15 seconds left to go. And this will, pending an incompletion, likely be our final play of quarter number 3 as Tampa Bay gets their offense sorted out, figuring out who's their 11th man, who they need on the field. And after that 15-yard penalty, the Tigers are looking to go back on top. Their 26 straight points have gone unanswered, so now it's just a matter of, with 15 seconds left, them trying to score once more, which could put the Golden Eagles out of this game. Kevin Obley lined up in the shotgun with his two receivers on each side. Look at Keon Gray is the lined up on that right side. He's going to set a block this time around and able to keep the pocket clean for Obley. Looking to throw at the last second. He'll get another block in front of him. He's going to cut back, run a couple extra yards. Look at all this yardage. We have a flag on the back end of this as Obley stays on his feet. Ran about 50 yards to get 10 yards. And now we have an offensive holding penalty. Going to push it all back as our third quarter comes to an end. Tampa Bay Tigers 26, Central Florida Golden Eagles 12. 3 quarters down, 1 to go here in Tampa. We have swapped sides for the final time tonight. And now, after the penalty, Tampa Bay Tigers are at their own 45. So, big penalty went against Central Florida. Tampa Bay answered with a penalty of their own. I'm not keeping count of this, but I think that's probably the 5th or 6th against Tampa in this half alone. And then Central Florida, they have had just 1, maybe 2 go against them. Huge pitch out to the right, goes off the Tiger on the ground, still staying loose, and Tampa just got on top of that. If they didn't, Central Florida would have been handed a short field with a chance to answer. What a save by the Tigers. Just too aggressive on the pitch play. He really threw that at him. Just needed a lighter, easier toss to kind of ease into it. But, he knew. Obley knew his clock was ticking. There was a defender running right at him. He had to get the ball out at all costs. So, Tampa will lose even more yards. That's about a loss of 10 on that pitch alone. So, we're looking at what? Second and 30 maybe at this point in time. It is a long, long ways to go.
We're starting to see some fatigue, especially we're here on the sideline with the Tigers. And you're starting to see and hear, these players are are pretty much putting everything out that they can. I mean, we're here into the final quarter, and they're starting to, I think it's starting to really hit home, how late it is.
About 3 hours into this game. I mean, obviously that includes all of our stoppages for halftime and everything, but still, that's a great run by Obley, able to slide down, avoid a hit. I think that's his big thing at this point in time is don't take any extra hits. You don't want to be in a position where you're taking more damage than you have to, especially with a 14-point lead.
Well, this is the first game where we've had some real heat here in the afternoon. They got here probably, just late, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock to start to warm up.
Great run inside. That will get. Ball came out after the play. He was down, but let's see. That far official looks like he's right at the marker. I think they're going to give this a first down, or it's going to be 4th and inches. Well, it's 4th down, but official moved back about 2 yards. So 4th and 2 is a safe assumption here in Tampa. 12:35 left to go. 26-12 with a very interesting 4th down here. Jonathan, if Tigers come up empty, Central Florida's right back in it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And here, sideline ref, is kind of saying, no, that's not where the ball stopped. And so they're making the adjustment there. But, yeah, I mean, the Tigers really have the ability to either put this game away or, keep it in play based on this drive.
Here we go. Obley takes the snap. It's a good one for the first time in a while. A lot of pressure. The throw caught. First down conversion, and how many more? 2 Golden Eagles ran into each other and a touchdown. 4th down where Central Florida had a chance to get back in this game. That may have been the dagger.
Well, I mean, at this point, just the natural pace of the game, I mean, the Eagles would have to put together something pretty spectacular to come back at this point because that was not only a fantastic catch, but what a great run, to put 6 more on the board.
About a 35-yard touchdown pass on 4th down. Just a huge, huge play is now up by 20, going to look to make it 22. So let's see what I don't know what the timeout actually was the call. And interesting time to take a timeout, but hey, at this point in time, what can you do? Up by 20 points before your 2-point conversion. It's just trying to make sure all your ducks in a row. As there's 11:53 left to go here in the 4th quarter.
Well, and one of the things we've seen
here
a
we
little
go.
bit with the Eagles, but
11:53 left to go. 20-point lead. Chance to make it 22. Obley off that tremendous throw. How he evaded the pressure, we'll never know. 4th down conversion. Now the 2-point conversion. In shotgun, takes the snap. Going to fake the handoff to his left, and he'll keep it for an extra second. Stay on his feet. Pushed out of bounds. Conversion no good here with 11:50 left to go. It's 32-12. 20-point lead for the Tampa Bay Tigers. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back with Tampa Bay up by 20. Point lead here for the Tigers as they are able to score in the 4th quarter. 11:43 left to go. 20-point lead here as that kick will, I think it touched him, so he's got to be on it. Golden Eagles now in their own end zone. They've got to fight out of it, but look at that. Makes a move to his left and tackled down at just past the 18 or so yard line. And there we go. 11.5 left in this game. 20-point is the deficit, but that's 3 touchdowns, which doesn't quite signal the end is near, but if you don't get a touchdown quickly, it feels more than out of reach.
I mean, he just played around with that kickoff there. I mean, he I think would have been better off just leaving it alone because it got pretty dicey there. And again, just take your 20 and start from there, I mean, why make it more complicated than it needs to be?
We haven't seen a touchback in this game. It's been constant kickoff disasters for both teams.
Yeah.
That's where it started with Tampa, the muffed punt, which gave the Central Florida Golden Eagles that first 6 points of the game. They were able to get it off of that turnover, but yeah, special teams has been a problem. It has not been good for the Golden Eagles, as once again they're starting well within their own 20.
Well, and on the last drive, we certainly saw them start not much farther from where they are now. So, can they turn this into something?
Depends how many penalties the Tigers commit. That's the big question. Short little run, no gain on the play other than 2 or 3 yards, but every yard counts at this point in time. A little bit could get you more in a couple plays. Who knows? That was their setup play on first down. Let's see how the Golden Eagles move from here.
Again, the Tigers here need to focus on not making any mistakes, not getting any more penalties, so they can put this game away.
Tampa Bay will be on the road next week at the Florida Wave. They play on March 1st, and at the end of February, the Golden Eagles are back in action on the 28th at the Orlando Jets. So a couple games to look forward to next week for both of these teams in the Universal Division. Pump fake, back in his own end zone. Got to stay on your feet. Where is he going? All the way back and then just threw it. There's 4 linemen in the area. But is there a receiver? Nope. There's some flags come out. That is going to be intentional grounding. Somehow took until 10:30 left to go for that to be called against Dallas Campbell.
I was wondering if they even called that in this league because, I mean, we've seen it rampantly throughout this game. And like you said, now here late in the fourth quarter, they want to start calling it. Okay. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, you play with the cards you're dealt.
Took 50 minutes with the team to be down 20 points for it to be called, but it's called. So Dallas Campbell knows he can't do that again, as that's going to cost him some yards that the team could not afford to lose. And also that one comes with the loss of down. So it is third down.
Oh, they're calling it a safety.
Oh, because he was in the end zone where he threw the pass. This is a safety awarded to Tampa. 2 points. It's 34-12. Tampa now tacks on 2 more. 34-12 with 10:30 left to go. Wow. Not only is it the 2 points, it's now they have to punt. So Tampa Bay's offense is going to get to take the field with 10.5 left to go. Just a completely wasted possession for the Golden Eagles.
Well, we're seeing the Eagles coaches here, take issue with the call by the referees, but it's the right call. I mean, there's really no other way around it.
Don't see it often, obviously. I think that's probably where the discussion stems from. But these officials, they know the rules. They know what's up. 2 extra points awarded. That makes up for one of the missed 2-point conversions. I think they've missed 3 in this game. So that makes up for one of those. And now the Central Florida Golden Eagles are going to have to punt. And it'll be Tampa Bay Tigers ball on offense. See how much of this last 10.5 minutes they can get off the clock.
Well, let's give credit where it's due. These referees have been calling a great game. Not any questionable calls that I can think of. Obviously we were kind of, joking a bit here about the intentional grounding, but at least it was fair up until this point. They really hadn't called it on either side. And again, it's solely up to their discretion, right? Based on what they're seeing on the field, but they've called a great game so far, so I don't think the Eagles have a lot of ground to stand on with these referees.
No, especially with all the yardage they've gotten off of penalties. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of complaining to be done where their second touchdown came from, we were talking 30, 40 penalty yards. They scored, but it took a lot of Tiger penalties to get to that point in time. So, and I only think there was one questionable intentional grounding against Campbell. There was one in the first quarter where he probably didn't get out of the tackle box and just threw it down at the ground. But other than that, this has been a well-officiated game. They're calling everything. They are making it known that you're not getting away with anything in this game. Justin Lawrence will have to punt as he does. It's a pretty good punt to get back to the 50, bounce around at the 45. Picked up by the Tigers, cutting back to the right side, right in front of the Golden Eagles bench. How far can he go? Tackled out of bounds at about the 30. A beautiful return off the punt. And that's the thing. You already know with a punt compared to kicking off a tee, you're going to get a lot better field position. It's just a matter of how well the return goes, and I would say that one ended quite well for Tampa Bay. Short field ahead of them on this drive.
Yeah, well, and again, off a tee, you got to wonder if they were maybe hoping, that they could maybe do an onside kick or something like that to, try to, get something going for them, here to turn this around. But, it's not looking good in their favor.
10:16 left to go here on Saturday Night Football. United Football League Extreme Week 3 action. At this rate, Tampa Bay is poised to improve to 2-1. While Central Florida is looking at a 1-2, as now we have a delay a game or too many men on the field. One of the two going to cost the Tigers 5 yards.
Well, that was actually a point that I'd been meaning to make earlier. I think, despite the score on the board, obviously the Tigers have capitalized well on their opportunities here. But if there's something they definitely need to work on is the communication, on the sidelines, in terms of substitutions, the huddles. They've just had a lot of calls against them. And again, unnecessarily just giving away yardage. So it makes you wonder, without these kind of very easy to fix kind of mistakes, where this game would be.
In the Week 3 preview on the UFLX website, they said the Tigers have one of the most efficient offenses in the league. They've put up 42 points last week. Another touchdown and 2-point conversion would get them to that point. here tonight. Their offense has certainly been great, but their defense also has done wonders. 10 minutes left to go. High snap, handing it off, running down to the left side, breaks one tackle and gets brought down, but I see another flag as there's a little late pushing and shoving as well, and that's going to cause another flag as we've got two men going at it, which will turn into a little bit more. So there was a flag before we had the extracurriculars after the fact, but it is continuing here in Tampa, the late theatrics in this one. Up by 22 are the Tampa Bay Tigers. There was just a little one-on-one exchange that turned into a group effort on both sides. But play like this could always lead to an ejection. We'll see when they get it sorted out. So Central Florida Golden Eagles head coach is out here. He's waving all the Tigers off the field. He wants to discuss things with the official. I am still curious what the first flag was that came before all of this. Obviously, we know the second is going to be an unsportsmanlike against one, if not two players. We saw a couple ejections in week one. There was one like super early in the game, and then the second came a little bit later on. But let's see what happens with this one.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so. We got some of the Tigers here saying, "Hey, like, what are we mad about? You know, we're up so far in this game. You know, it's like, why are we out there, you know, putting this game on the line like that? You know, when they clearly have the lead here, and they just need this game to be over with." Now, the Eagles are obviously conferring with the referees over there, and you know, but.
I mean, you never know. The officials could always rule that the Tigers were unruly and they couldn't control the game and award it to Central Florida. Crazier things have happened. So
yeah, the team owner and the coach, they were doing a pretty good job to get their guys back on the sideline. You know, they're still trying to get some of them to cool down, but you didn't see, in my opinion, that urgency of, hey, like, let's break this up, let's go back to our sidelines, from the Eagles. I mean, and again, we see that there's obviously a lot of deliberation happening here on the field now, but again, to what extent or to what goal, right? Because at this point, I mean, they might be able to put some more points on the board, but I don't think it's going to make a difference at this point.
We'll take a break here in a minute. We'll be right back once this is sorted out. So we have sorted things out, just offsetting penalties. Basically, the two men that got into it that started the mess, we're going to have an unsportsmanlike against both of them. So all of that to say we're back right where we started. It's second down here, 9:39 left to go. Clock should start on the whistle. Let's see what will happen. They're just getting their final notes and everything perfectly finalized with our Week 3 game coming to a close here, and just over 9.5 minutes left to play in Tampa.
Well, we're about to find out, to see if they can sideline that energy or channel it at least into the game instead.
That was a huge hit. Could hear it from up here. As a good run, though, will make it third down. They're going to put them all the way past the 20 at this point. So Tampa Bay Tigers offense, they're still out there, still looking to score. Why not, right? You're only up by 22. You won by 42 last week. So for Tampa Bay, they're just looking to make a statement and show that their offense is not to be messed with in this league.
Well, and you actually just reminded me, of the fact that, again, like this Eagles team really isn't used to being down. They're not used to being behind, and kind of facing their first loss of the season here. So, again, I think that is certainly at the root of some of this tension and some of these flare-ups.
Really got physical late in this fourth quarter. But everyone is back out to play. 8:40 left to go. Snap, handoff, cuts to the middle, and he'll get the first down easily, and it will be potentially goal to go scenario. It looks like they're going to be right around that 10-yard line. Tampa Bay Tigers, again, they will be on the road next week. They've had back-to-back home games. That's their only stretch of consecutive home games all year. And obviously, with the win last week and then whatever this one ends up being, they certainly made the most of it as they head to the Florida Wave for a March 1st game, 7 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. High snap, hands it off up the middle, actually kept it at that last second. That ball was loose. Central Florida says they have it. Do they? So I think Central Florida did come up with that fumble. Sure enough. Wow. A late possession change in this one as seemed to be a relatively fine snap, but just kind of lost it on the transition. So Central Florida takes over with 7:58 left to go.
Well, and again, crazier things have happened, right? If they can capitalize on this drive, there still may be enough time for a second drive, and who knows, right? They could come within reach.
At this point, just try and get some points on the board and look better going into Week 4. Orlando Jets are the Central Florida Golden Eagles opponent next week. They've got their back-to-back road games as we have a timeout on the field. We'll be back momentarily with the remaining fourth quarter. Dallas Campbell had the quarterback sneak touchdown with 57 seconds left to go in the third quarter. And the shotgun as he looks to throw this one, and he'll get a block in front of him. Going to keep that ball in his hand, and he is hit and lost the ball. Tampa Bay on top of it. Originally, did they hold it? Yes, they did. Central Florida's hopes come crashing down. Back-to-back plays, back-to-back fumbles.
What a missed opportunity there. Again, especially after a great run by the quarterback there, getting them, to move up quite nicely up on the field. That could have really been an exciting drive for them, and this late in the game to just give it up like that is pretty heartbreaking.
I mean, obviously there's a reason I'm up there and these guys are down there, but the way Campbell was holding the ball, he was super loosey-goosey with it that time. He was just holding it out in his right arm, trying to stiff arm with his left and things like that. It was way too easy for the Tigers to hit him and kind of just poke that ball out, and that's exactly what happened. A swarm of players got on top of it, and now with 7:44 left to go, 1st and 10, Tampa Bay. Fake pitch on the option. Quarterback keeper lost it again. This ball's down, but Tampa Bay is able to get on top of it. You'd think it's pouring rain in Tampa Bay tonight, but wow, Butterfingers all around. 3 straight plays, 3 straight fumbles. This one, though, doesn't change possession.
Well, and that was inches away from possibly being another possession change, as there were 2 Eagles right by that fumble, that could have easily have snatched it up. But, to your point, yeah, the thing is that it's been a long day.
Yeah.
And I think, when it's been a long day, these guys are tired. It's late in the game. You're going to make mistakes like that. And that's going to be the difference maker.
And granted, for both teams, it's not necessarily a close game. So if you're going to make a mistake, make it at this point. Obviously, Central Florida's was a lot worse than what Tampa Bay's is with those potentially back-to-back fumbles. Deep ball here, going for the end zone. Wide open! No, dropped it. Had him. Looked to be picture perfect on that throw, but wow, just dropped it somehow.
Looked like he had a great catch there, but it seems like he may have just dropped the ball, as he fell to the ground with it.
Quarterback, I mean, how did Hobley even see him in the end zone at the last second? Just the way he scrambled and found receivers tonight is very incredible. But yeah, that's a big miss. You could not have been any more wide open in the end zone. And from our vantage point, looked like a pretty great throw, but maybe had a little too much on it or something.
It was on point. I think he dropped it on the catch, because that ball certainly fell where it needed to.
I was ready to call it a touchdown, but not so fast. Fake pitch, quarterback keeper. Hobley goes up, and he'll get taken down. On that run, he will get up to about a 4th and manageable, as now we have a timeout called, I think. Oh, there was a flag on the play.
Yeah.
6:19 left to go. Flag once again. The amount of penalties in this second half is just incredible compared to, I feel like we had a relatively quiet first half, but the laundry has been out here in the final 30 minutes.
Well, and to the credit of both teams, I mean, these quarterbacks really have not had a lot of time, to make something happen. I mean, that pocket is collapsing on both sides pretty quickly. And so, I mean, they certainly run a lot more than I think we're normally accustomed to.
Yeah.
But it's out of necessity because those pockets are just not holding up, and they don't have as much time as one may think that you normally would have, in a normal scenario.
Whether it's stellar defensive line play or horrific offensive line play, probably a little bit of both, as that combination has been a big factor in this one. Screen on the outside, way too high and too fast. That came in. Could have been dangerous if that was a backward pass because the Golden Eagles were right on top of it, but incomplete as it stands. 5:57 left to go. Tampa Bay's offense here, 2nd down. Off the incompletion. I'm not sure why the official was signaling to start the clock, but hey, he says so. Good snap. Handoff up the middle. Just brought down before he could get in the end zone. That's a great tackle by number 4. That's Simmons Christian of the Golden Eagles. Or Christian Simmons, excuse me. Under 5.5 left to go. 3rd down and goal.
I mean, that had a lot of danger written all over it. That was looking like a really great run that could have easily turned into a touchdown there.
If anything, for Tampa, you're kind of fine with it not being a touchdown as long as you convert. You're just taking more time off the clock with each and every play. Your offense stays out on the field. And now we have is this another delay of game? Oh. Too many men on the field for Tampa Bay, so a new penalty. But still a penalty against the Tigers nonetheless.
Well, again, it goes back to what I was just saying not that long ago. You know, there seems to be a disconnect there between the communications on the sidelines and the communication between those on the field. And, you know, it finally caught up to them there because I've seen some really close calls for this very sort of thing, you know, throughout the game tonight.
I mean, it's the little things. Sure, Tampa Bay might be 2-1 after this game, but when they get into some competitive battles down the stretch, especially if you're wanting playoff aspirations, these are the things that have to be sorted out. Another handoff up the middle, swarmed inside, and nearly stripping that ball away were the Golden Eagles, but going to get tackled down, and it'll be 4th and goal with 4:25 left to go in this game. Tampa Bay, remember, trailed 6-0 to start, put up 26 unanswered. It was 26-6 for quite a while. Both teams added a touchdown after that point, along with a safety awarded on an intentional grounding. Under 4 left to go, Tampa. That split backfield, running back on each side. Which direction will he go, or will Hobley keep it himself? Steps back, one-on-one in the corner, and diving effort, unable to make the catch. Turnover on down. Central Florida takes over as the clock stops with 3:40 left to go here in Tampa Bay.
Which again, for this Tigers team, I mean, you know, that's fine. I mean, it's not a horrible field position. You know, as far as the Tigers are concerned, for the Eagles to be starting from. I think they can hold them long enough here to run out these last 3.5 minutes.
We saw in the last possession when Central Florida started back here, it was a safety. So just a matter of what Dallas Campbell still has left in the tank. The QB1 of this squad, he's done everything in his power to scramble around, run to the left, run to the right, wherever he needs to go. He's been all around everywhere, but just Tigers defense has been too much, way too much to handle here in week 3. So Central Florida will take a timeout. We'll take one with them. 3:36 left to go here in Tampa. Central Florida's offense takes the field off the timeout. 3:36 left to go. I mean, if you're the Golden Eagles, just string together a good drive at this point. Give yourself some life going into week 4. Here's the first play. Campbell stopped dead in his tracks in the end zone. He'll spin around and keep it himself. He'll run up to the first down marker. Yes, he'll get it and pushed out of bounds a little bit after it. 3:26 left as the clock stops momentarily while they get the outfield or the out of bounds sorted out. So approaching 3 minutes left to go here in this game. Dallas Campbell will be in shotgun, running back to his right. And now he's going to look left and stopped in his tracks. Big time sack for the Tigers. Ball came out obviously after he was down, but sack in order, as it is going to be a long third down now for the Central Florida squad. And Dallas Campbell did everything he could on first down to get some of the yards back, but Jonathan, like we've talked about, the offensive line just gives you no room for error.
No, I mean, but even on that first run, where he scrambled and was able to move that ball up the field, I mean, it didn't even look like he was going to even try to pass it. I mean, you didn't. I don't even remember seeing his arm come up. It seemed like he just scrambled a bit, already anticipating the run. And look, I mean, it's worked for them. But for them to get the field position that they need, they need to pass the ball.
Just as you say, to pass the ball. Here's a run on second and long is what they're calling it here. They'll get a lot of those yards back, though, as what happened was Campbell did get awarded the first down on his initial scramble. So after the sack, it's now... Okay, they are going to switch it to third down as we've reached the 2-minute warning. I believe the whistle's for the 2-minute warning. I don't know what's just conflicting viewpoints here, but we're at the 2-minute warning here at the fourth quarter. Tampa Bay 34, Central Florida 12. So we'll be at the 2-minute mark here after this timeout. Big-time sack by the Tampa Bay Tigers off the 2-minute warning as our clock will wind down and approach the end here in Week 3 action. So the sack will set up fourth down and long. Dallas Campbell might have one play left in the tank.
Oh, back-to-back sacks there, for the Tigers. I mean, as tired as you can be after playing 4 quarters of football, they're still fired up. Both on and off the field. I mean, they're ready to go home and celebrate.
Offensive line of Central Florida, which hasn't even been on the field much this half, has just completely collapsed in the last few moments for Central Florida. As now Wildcat formation. Is this going to be a new look here? Going to try something. Heaving a prayer ball up. And jump ball caught, pulled it through his hands and gets the first down. Wow, that was the definition of a jump ball, and it went to T.J. Johnson.
I mean, I think there the advantage was that, the Tiger covering him jumped just a little bit earlier, and that ended up being the difference maker because the ball wasn't quite there yet.
New quarterback throws up a prayer late in the game. Christian Simmons, and made it work. 25 seconds left. That's just a highlight reel play to end this game as, hey, you've got something else in your back pocket. Simmons now running up. He's going to look to keep it. Similar to Dallas Campbell. Holds on to that ball. There will be 12 seconds left as he's brought down. Will they have enough time to get another playoff is the question. And with 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, the snap, got it off in time. Simmons has it. He's met in the backfield, and what a way to end it. The Tampa Bay Tigers prevail 34-12.
Certainly not the score that I thought we would be ending with. I certainly felt at halftime that this was going to be a much closer game. But the Tigers, again, were able to capitalize on both mistakes, a lot of penalties, from the Eagles, and, some big plays. I mean, their special teams, they made it. They were able to capitalize on a lot of turnovers, and they really did a great job of making sure that they made the most of those moments.
It was 12-6 at halftime. It ends 34-12. Tampa Bay Tigers improved to 2-1. They're on the road next week at the Florida Wave. Central Florida Golden Eagle dropped their first road game of the year. They fall to 1-2. They'll be playing at the Orlando Jets next week. For Jonathan Torres, I'm Jordan Loren saying good night, everybody.